guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 30th of November going through until Sunday the 6th of December 2020. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to give you a rundown of what's happening every day this week. I've had a look at the planets and the relationships they form, and what struck me is that the energy is pretty contentious this week. There's a lot of fire, there's a lot of confidence and self-belief, and as a result things can get a little bit hairy, and there can be a bit of friction between you and other people and your circumstances and the things going on in your life. So I'm going to have a look at how to use this energy, how to channel it in a way that supports you. And the week starts on Monday the 30th of November with a full moon in Gemini that's also a lunar eclipse. So it kind of makes sense that we have all this energy because the eclipse is a big deal. It's a big event. I've made a separate video on this. Have a look at that if you're interested in this full moon in Gemini. First of all, it gives you loads and loads of power to take charge of your life, to take control, and to really move ahead with the things that you want and the things you care about. It's not just a regular full moon in Gemini opening these opportunities for you. Because it's an eclipse and because the full moon is interrupted, you have this energy available to you for about 6 months. So it's a major resource. If you're someone who struggles to kind of assert yourself or to take charge of things, really have a look at that video. It's a great opportunity. And it kind of makes sense with an eclipse at the beginning of the week that things could be a little bit heated. I mean, if you're someone who struggles to assert themselves, for instance, you need heat and you need power to really say, do you know what, this is what I really feel and this is what I'm going to do, regardless of what you think. So it's required so that everyone can kind of access it. If you're someone who is too much, so on the other extreme, you really assert yourself to the point of being domineering or you're bossy, then you have that same energy available to you, but you have to use it in a different way so that you can move ahead with your life without focusing on other people and what they ought to be doing and what you think is right and all of that stuff. So on Monday, it's important to find a balance. We also have a moon in Gemini opposing the sun in Sagittarius, obviously, because the two are 180 degrees away, and that's what creates this full moon in Gemini and the eclipse. The moon also sextiles the warrior planet Mars in Aries. That's the sign that it rules. So Mars is really happy and adds more fire and heat to this equation on Monday. And it squares Neptune in Pisces. So we've got the water planet also in the sign that it rules, and that really opens up the intuitive side of things, the emotional, spiritual side. So you have access to everything. You have access to what's going on in here, the future, what you're feeling, what's going on for you spiritually. Mercury is in Scorpio, so the communication planet in the most perceptive of all the signs. You're really able to see the things that have eluded you up until now, the things that have been hidden and that you haven't been able to access. And that sextiles Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn is about structure and really building something tangible and earthy. So with all the other things going on, we had no earth in this equation here on Monday, and it brought up a lot of energy and drive, but very little practical energy that's going to ground you and actually allow you to move ahead. With Saturn in Capricorn, we've got the epitome of earthy, practical energy. So by really being honest with yourself and using all of your resources, you can really build something long-term and permanent on Monday the 30th. It's a really significant, important, big day. So again, have a look at the video on the eclipse because it's like 40 minutes long and I go into a lot of detail. So if you're interested in seeing how to make the most of that, it's ultimately a great day to plan ahead. There's so much confidence and self-belief and self-knowledge available to you that you can really move forward in a meaningful way. It's not ideal to kind of contemplate and to try and find yourself. So it's not a research day. It's not about, let me think about things. It's much more about, let me take stock of what I do know, what I do feel, and how can I move ahead with that. So I hope you see the difference. It's important to accept the things that feel strongly to you now, as of today, and to do something about those feelings, rather than trying to figure it all out. Who am I? Why am I here? Also, If you're someone who often tries to talk yourself out of things, especially doing things for yourself because they seem difficult or impossible, so your family says, oh no, you can't do that, or I don't have the education, so I might as well not bother, or the money isn't there, so let me just forget about all of that, you're really going to be pushed to keep the dreams alive and to keep moving forward with the dreams. And that can be a little bit contentious in itself, because then your inner self is saying you can, and your lower self is going to say no, I can't. And that's going to be this constant back and forth of yes I can, no you can't, yes I can, no you can't. And that can get a little bit tedious. So do yourself a favor and just go with the yes I can, and it doesn't matter what my circumstances are or what they tell me I can and can't do. I'm going to do what I believe to be right and important for me. And if you're, again, that focused on yourself, someone who comes along and says, hey, could you do everything for me today because I can't be bothered, you're not going to be particularly patient, because you've got this back and forth within yourself. You're focused on your journey, your mission. And if someone comes along and tries to distract you, either deliberately or not deliberately, you're not going to have a lot of time for that. So be a little bit aware of the energy that's around on Monday. If you find yourself getting irritable or your temper is getting a little bit short, just take a breath and realize that that's normal and that you're focusing on your own thing for a reason. On Tuesday, the 1st of December, we really start December nicely with Mercury, the communication planet, going into Sagittarius. So it moves out of Scorpio, water sign, into Sagittarius, the fire sign, just super enthusiastic and about the future and moving ahead. It's ruled by Jupiter, the lucky planet. So Mercury, the way you think and the way you articulate things and the way you communicate and see the world and the way you perceive everything, just gets this huge lift, and suddenly everything is much more accessible and you're really able to move ahead with things that were impossible as early as the day before. So your mood gets a real lift as soon as December starts here. The moon is still in Gemini, so that's also very positive and says, yes, you can. Go ahead. Quincux is Pluto, so the outer planets, Pluto, transformation, Jupiter, good luck and good fortune, and Saturn, structure and the security you have in your life. And all of those are in the earth sign Capricorn. So again, opportunities and change and good luck, they're all within reach, and they're all things that you can do something with on Tuesday the 1st. So it's not like you have to make plans and then say, oh yeah, I'm making these plans for 2021 and I'm going to get busy in a month or 2 years or whatever. No, it's actually getting busy on Tuesday the 1st of December, doing the things that are important to you right now and going ahead with them. So it's all systems go on Tuesday the 1st. Optimism and enthusiasm are at an all-time high, and the feelings are warranted. You can really make positive long-term changes, and you can transform your life circumstances. So it's not like you're just wishful thinking and saying, oh yeah, I can move and I can do all of this. Yeah, you can actually do it. So it's important that you keep these dreams alive and you do something with them. So do look at things like moving, changing jobs, or changing things that no longer serve you, things that have kind of reached their expiry date, but they're still in your life. You have all of this power for a reason, and the reason is that you're meant to use it. And that's a great start to December, and it's also very telling for the month of December, because it's really all systems go, and that means December is going to be a fast-paced month where you can make a lot of changes in your life and you can achieve loads. On Wednesday, the 2nd of December, we've got the moon now changing signs at 3:34 in the morning, and it goes into Cancer. So the moon in Gemini is in an air sign focused on the future and moving ahead. The moon in Cancer is focused on the home. It's focused on taking charge of your life, but in a different way. It's about, how can I take care of the people in my life? How can I be the person everyone else looks to? How can I make things right for other people? The Cancer moon trines Venus in Scorpio, so Venus, the planet of love and beauty, also is as deep as it can go. So it's the most hidden and taboo and secret feelings that you've been harboring for a long time, that even maybe you've been trying to keep a lid on, things that you haven't been willing to acknowledge in yourself. So if you've had secret desires or secret loves and you've said, no, those are inappropriate, they're going to delay my life, or I don't want to feel this, it just doesn't match my beliefs, or whatever it may be. With the Cancer moon, water, and Venus in Scorpio, it's going to be impossible to ignore these things. So you immediately just get a much clearer view of yourself and your needs and your desires. Whether you've been brainwashed into dismissing those things or not, it comes up to the surface and you see what you really want, warts and all, without judgment, and it just is. So if you really haven't, if you're someone who's like, you know what, I don't like anything, I don't have any hobbies, I wish I could do something with my life, but I don't know what I want to do, so I can't. You know, it's okay for other people who know that they want to be a vet at 5 years old, for them to become a vet, but I never knew what I loved and what I wanted to do. So there's nothing for me to do. That's really common. And I can really relate to that. I've been there myself. My experience with that isn't that you don't love anything, because all of us love things. As human beings, it's just built into us. We all care about certain things. There are factors that can really destroy that for us, like depression and kind of people pleasing and forgetting about your own needs for the sake of others, like replacing the two. Also, socially, if you like something that's socially scorned or frowned upon, then you're not going to take the risk often to put yourself out there and say, I love this, come and attack me. So on this day, anyone who's had problems kind of finding their path as a result of this kind of thing, you understand what it is you want. And it's not figuring it out and you're not finding yourself. It's just something that arises out of you, and it's really easy for you to see. It's like a lotus flower coming out of a pond, okay? It just presents itself. So the Cancer moon sextiles Uranus and Taurus as well. So this embracing the things that you love can really have a huge effect on your circumstances. It can change your life drastically. It squares Chiron in Aries, and it quincunxes the Sun in Sagittarius. So it's not something that you have to force. It's just something that arises out of you. So take the pressure off yourself. If you feel like, you know, I want to move things forward, but I'm not quite sure, just have faith that these things will arise from within you and that they will appear, especially on Wednesday the 2nd. So things kind of balance out on Wednesday in terms of your home life and your relationships becoming a priority again. So Monday, Tuesday is all about my life. How can I move forward? How can I make things happen? On Wednesday, you also start to take your own feelings into account and other people's feelings. So things do balance out and you're able to look at both. It's problematic if you approach your relationships with the same sort of can-do attitude that you've been applying to your work and your circumstances all week. Because on Monday, Tuesday, if you say, I want to move ahead with this, it's really likely that things will move ahead. On Wednesday, if you say, I want to fix things with my uncle, and you say, okay, because I want it, I will pick up the phone and address it, and he has to then obviously comply and sort things out, you may be a little bit disappointed. Because things have worked out for you in the areas that are in your control earlier in the week, you may conflate the two and say, I can change everything. I can control all the aspects of my life. And that's not guaranteed, because other people are going to be focused on their thing, what they want to do. And if you expect things to resolve and to go your way exactly in your relationships, the way things can go in your circumstances, in your work, in your life purpose, you'll face some resistance and you may be disappointed and frustrated with that, because it's not something that you can just snap your fingers and resolve. So be smart about this and use the energy where it's most effective, which is your circumstances. On Wednesday, use that insight into relationships to understand yourself rather than trying to understand other people, and rather than trying to influence other people, influence your own circumstances, what you want to do, and move ahead with that. It's going to work much better for you. You see where the conflict and the kind of contention can come in? You're a little bit at odds with yourself. That energy you channel into actually doing things, and that works out for you. But then with other people and trying to get things resolved and them not agreeing, it can get very complicated, and you can get to a point of, well, what is this? So it's important to keep it simple and to realize that the things you have control over are your circumstances, and not to try and dilute your power by spreading it very thinly to other people. On Thursday, the 3rd of December, we've got the moon still in Cancer. It trines Venus in Scorpio. So this huge depth of emotion and understanding is still there. And now it also trines Neptune in Pisces. So all the water in the universe kind of opens up to you, and you really feel things profoundly. The Cancer moon opposes the big outer planets, Pluto, Jupiter, and Jupiter in Capricorn. Not Saturn, just Pluto and Jupiter, so transformation and good luck. And it squares the soldier planet Mars in Aries. So the energy shifts again on Thursday. Relationships are less fraught and there's less pressure, mainly because you're putting less pressure on them and you're putting less pressure on other people. You're not so focused on influencing things and asserting your dominance and being controlling. It's a day, if you do have to kind of make peace or come to terms with other people or circumstances in your life, this is the day to do it, because there's a mutual understanding and respect, and you're really able to see other people's points of view much more clearly than you've been able to for the first 3 days of the week. That said, be careful not to go to the other extreme and to throw your reservations and your kind of unresolved issues that you have with other people completely out the window just to make things right. So if you have an argument with someone, it's really easy the next day to say, oh, I was wrong, forget everything I said, whatever, I was just moody. That kind of behavior, it doesn't mean that the problems actually disappear. They're just being brushed under the carpet, they're not being dealt with. And if you just keep doing that, then ultimately things are going to build into resentments, and sooner or later they'll blow up, especially this week. So if you have to have it out, if you have to really express the way you feel, and it's not easy, then choose Thursday the 3rd. I don't know about you, but a lot of people in life, friends, family, when everything is wonderful and great, it's easy to get on with people. But when you're experiencing difficulties and you need other people to understand what you're going through, that's sometimes when miscommunication happens and things go wrong. And there's lots of potential for things to go wrong in those kind of areas this week, because everyone's going to be so focused on themselves and how they can move forward with their life. And even if you're just trying to get some understanding, or in the worst case, sympathy from someone else, it'll feel to some people like you're trying to distract them from what they're doing, or you're trying to sabotage their journey, even though that's not what you're doing. So just be a little bit aware of that. On Friday the 4th of December, we've got the moon going into Leo at 12:54 in the afternoon. So the moon in Leo brings this fire to you, so you've got even more confidence now. The Leo moon then trines Mercury, Chiron, and it squares Uranus in Taurus. So we've got your confidence connected to the communication planet, really connecting with you and what you want. And important, rather than trying to force it, listen to what kind of arises from within. What has been important all week, and what's been with you, what's been on your mind for a while. Focus on that, don't brush it aside, deal with that. Mercury also trines Chiron in Aries. So it's really important to focus on what is, rather than what you're trying to force or wishful thinking or what could be. Deal with the things that are available to you, that you have control over, things that you can access today on Friday the 4th of December, and move ahead with those as they come up. So Friday, the focus on your journey is restored. Wednesday, Thursday, the home and other people and relationships start to come in. Friday is very much back to you and your journey. So the experience you're going to have on Friday is very similar to the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday. The resistance from other people and difficult circumstances returns as well. So if you've left things unresolved from the day before or from Wednesday, and you feel like you can gloss over those kind of things just by pretending, you may experience some major delays and some major conflict. So Friday the 4th is the most challenging when it comes to other people reacting to your behavior or things that are unresolved. So if you're in a situation where there is someone you've had problems with, or something that you've ignored or you've not dealt with, and it could potentially come and become a problem for you, it's really important on Friday to address that and to give it all your attention. If you try and gloss over it and just say, oh, whatever, insincerity and pretense are really not going to be tolerated by other people. And if other people get a whiff of you being insincere, or you just trying to, you're just saying things to keep them placated, and you're just like, yeah, whatever, people are really not going to respond well to that. It's important that other people feel heard, and you're going to notice that in yourself. If you feel ignored or someone's just bamboozling you to keep you quiet, you're not going to enjoy that. So rather than blowing up and venting your frustrations, try and address what is going on in a calm and clear way. Avoid it altogether by really addressing it or nipping it in the bud and focusing on it deliberately and trying to resolve it. As long as you don't try and fake it on Friday, you'll be good. The thing that you do have control of, remember, is your journey and what you want to change. So if you're good with everything, if there aren't any problems or conflicts, then just look at how you can progress and how you can make further inroads on your journey, because that's the best way to use the energy. On Saturday, the 5th of December, we've got the moon in Leo, and that now forms a trine with the sun in Sagittarius, so we've got lots of fire again, and Mars in Aries, the red planet in the sign that it rules. So this is the most fiery of the days that we've seen so far, and we've had a lot of fire here. The Leo moon forms a quincunx with Pluto in Capricorn, so the self-belief that you've got and the confidence can really lead to massive actual changes in your life, physical life. So the way your body is, your exercise schedule, the way you eat, what you do for work, the way your daily routine is structured, what you do in every hour of the day. You can really make massive changes. It squares Venus in Scorpio, so it may be that feelings are a little bit less comfortable now, especially self-doubt or anything that holds you back. Venus in Scorpio also trines Neptune in Pisces, and it quincunxes Mars in Aries. So we've got a bit of conflict here between all the water and the fire, and you have this confidence, but that may be informed more profoundly by all this watery energy, and you really have great insights into yourself, so you can see all of you. But with the Leo moon, you may not want to look at the dark stuff now. You will only say, hey, I just want to keep it light and positive. That's a mistake, because by having access to all of you, you're able to really look at it and deal with the things that are unresolved. And that's the way to really move forward. So you can even take difficult stuff in your life and transform it into fuel that really allows you to make changes in the here and now. So the whole week, even though it's potentially contentious with you and other people, it's superb when it comes to you being able to take charge of your life and say, regardless of what's going on, this is where I'm going. Me, me, me. And yeah, that's obviously what other people then don't like. If they just see you super self-interested and only interested in yourself, a lot of people react to that by saying, oh, look, only interested in themselves, let's tear those people down. It's a waste of their energy, but it's unpleasant for you. So try and keep that a little bit under the radar. If you're just focused completely in yourself and you could not care less about what's going on in other people's lives, don't prove it to them by saying, I don't care. Just, keep it civil, keep it good. So on Saturday, enjoy all the energy, try and have some fun, be creative, but do be considerate of other people at the same time. It's a week where people are going to be sensitive to those who are blatantly self-interested, and jealousy and frustration can arise as a result. So there's going to be a tendency to bring people down a notch or two, especially those who are seen as blasé and over the top. So avoid the temptation to do that yourself. If someone is being brazen and just overly interested in themselves, it's really not your job to educate that person. You get to see other people's points of view. Leave their stuff to them. It's got nothing to do with you. You focus on your own situation. And yeah, that's the best way to use the fiery energy to continue to move your life forward and to avoid the pitfall of trying to educate other people and to get angry at them for doing things in a way that you don't like. What's it to them if you don't like what they're doing? I put here the awkwardness and loneliness of making better choices. Oh, I know what I meant by that. That threw me a little bit. Let's say you have a bunch of friends, and before you change your life, all you do with these friends is you gossip and you drink. And then you decide, you know what, I don't want to gossip anymore and I don't want to drink. You're going to spend some time being totally alone because all your friends, some of them will not want to be with you anymore because you're their drinking buddy. And others are going to say, hey, well, if he's not gossiping, then we've got nothing to talk about. So that can often feel like, oh, you know, I must be horrible and a terrible person because no one's around me. But if you've made bad decisions in the past when it comes to friendships, and let's say you have based your friendships on gossip, then it's normal to have a period of no friends when you're changing your behavior and you're talking about things that are positive or pleasant. So don't feel guilty if you're now making good choices on Saturday and you decide to be creative and to take charge of your life, and you're not interested in educating other people or being jealous or bringing people down by a notch or two. If that's what happens in your group of friends, they're not going to come near you and you're going to be alone. So if anything, if you find yourself in a situation where your relationships are changing a little bit on Saturday and you're not universally loved by all these people who have all these flaws, then you can actually see that as making progress. And it's important to accept that and to say, I'm moving on to bigger and better things. I'm sure there will be people out there who have positive conversations and who have fun, who don't just spend all their time gossiping. And the self-belief allows you to make those changes. And that doesn't come along every day. A lot of people say, hey, it's better than being alone. I know we're just gossiping about other people, but at least I'm not by myself. And that's no good either. Sunday, the 6th of December, we've got the moon going into Virgo at 7:47 in the afternoon. The Virgo moon quincunxes Chiron in Aries, so the asteroid, the wounded healer, in Aries, saying, heal yourself. Take action to make things better. Mercury in Sagittarius quincunxes Uranus and Taurus, so they form a positive relationship. So there's a sense that if I move forward and if I change my life, I can heal it, I can transform it miraculously. So that puts the expectation level high and up here. And Venus in Scorpio quincunxes Mars in Aries. So my deepest, darkest feelings are something I have to face and I have to do something about that. So Sunday is a day where you really put a lot of pressure on yourself. If you've had conflict this week, it's a good time to take care of yourself and to deliberately say, okay, enough with the pressure. I'm doing the best I can. I've done the best I can this week. And on Sunday, it's a good time to identify the people who do have your best interest at heart. So people who have supported you this week, despite all the fire and the self-interest and the conflict, and people who have been there for you this week, those are important to hang on to, because there's people who support you for you, even when you're wrong, or even if you don't get things right all the time, because your motives this week are a little bit hard to kind of judge or discern, and that's why there is the potential for conflict, because it's easy to misunderstand what you're doing, or you're being overly self-interested and stuff. If someone loves you unconditionally through all of this, then you really know they're a keeper, because if you're getting things right or not, they love you for who you are, not what you're doing. That's an important distinction I learned when I was at school. You know, someone's behavior and the things they do, that isn't exactly the same thing as them as a person. So you can be a wonderful, great person who sometimes messes up and does stupid stuff, but you can't tar someone with the same brush and say they did one wrong thing, therefore they must be wrong up here. So you're able to see that for yourself, people you love despite them being a little bit self-absorbed this week, and you'll see that happening in your own life, people who love you despite certain flaws. Also on Sunday, if you meet new people who are like-minded and who you click with immediately, they've come into your life for a reason on Sunday. So see where those relationships lead, pay attention, they will be important and they could become permanent fixtures in your life. So either you get clarity on existing relationships, on how good they are, or you meet new people who potentially can be long-term allies in your life and who can really love you for you. So it's a full-on week. It's not going to be boring. I hope this gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have an amazing week. Have a wonderful time, and I'll speak to you soon.